yet standing firm. This is Radio Cayman in the Cayman Islands.
For the Record is brought to you by Vamped Motors, the only authorized Ford and Toyota dealership serving the Cayman Islands. Coca-Cola, available across the Cayman Islands from Tortuga Distributors. Accept no substitutes. Taste the feeling with Coca-Cola. Brand Source Home Gallery, inspiring luxury. West Bay Pharmacy, taking care of your health. And JN Money.
From abroad to yard.
Fast, affordable, convenient. Doctor's Hospital. Peace of mind is important when life happens. Doctor's Hospital. Always there for you. Call 949-6066. And giversplanet.com. Cayman's online platform for fundraising and charitable donations.
This is For the Record with Ort Connor.
Coming to you live from Radio Cayman Studio.
For the Record.
For the record. For the record. Hear from your government officials, independents, and the opposition on issues that matter to you.
For the Record.
Engage in an open dialogue between residents and lawmakers.
For the Record.
For the Record. For the Record.
Informative, impartial, insightful.
This is your talk show.
1-800-534-8255. Your calls, your input. This is For the Record. And now, your host, Ort Connor.
Good morning, good morning, good morning. O land of soft, fresh breezes and verdant trees, so fair. Today is Friday, the 20th day of May 2022, right here in the beautiful Cayman Islands. We hope and we trust that everyone had a restful, peaceful, enjoyable evening. Those of you who are on the roads of the Cayman Islands, whether you're a pedestrian or a cyclist, or if you're operating any type of motorized vehicle, we urge you to please, please, please be extremely cautious. Please ensure that you observe the rules of the road. If you do that, then, folks, the life you save may just be your own, or you may have saved the life of a relative, or of a friend, or of a neighbor. At the end of the day, you would have saved the life of another human being as well. So we urge you to please, please, please be extremely cautious on our roads, especially during the weekend as well. Anyone who's celebrating a birthday today, we want to wish you a happy birthday. Or if you're celebrating any other milestone today, could be an anniversary, could be 1 year on the job, 10 years on the job, 20 years on the job, 30 years like Miss Susan on the job, 31. If you're celebrating anything, we want to wish you a happy one today. Those of you who have lost loved ones, we want to extend our sincere condolences to you. We hope and we pray that your memories of your loved ones will be a blessing, and that you will be sustained by your prayers and prayers of others as well. Those of you who are ill, either at home or at a medical facility, we want to wish you a speedy recovery as well. So folks, I want to thank you for allowing Radio Cayman, and by extension For the Record, into your homes, into your vehicles as you traverse the busy roads of the Cayman Islands, into your places of work, wherever that may be. As you know, For the Record is a show produced by the staff and management of Radio Cayman, and it is geared towards keeping you abreast of issues as they arise and play out on the local, regional and international scene. I'm your host, Ort Connor, and you're welcome to join me every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday from 7:30 a.m. until 10 a.m. During that period, our phone lines are open. As usual, that beautiful radio voice of Miss Susan Watson waiting to take your calls. You can call us on a toll-free number provided courtesy of Flo. That toll-free number, 1-800-534-8255. You can also call us on 949-8037 and 949-6990. Email us at fortherecord, one word, fortherecord at candw.ky. WhatsApp us 925-3261, where you can send us a text message or leave us a voice note, the contents of which will be played during the course of the show. And of course, you can follow us on YouTube simply by subscribing to Radio Cayman live stream. We understand, we know that our streaming portion is inoperable, not working at this point in time. We have received messages from several of our listeners, and we want you to know that we are aware of it. We're not ignoring it. We're working on it, and we apologize. We sincerely apologize for that inconvenience, but at the same time, we encourage you to log on to the YouTube. Follow us on YouTube. You can follow us on YouTube as well. So, first of all, I'd like to share some COVID-19 sit rep for, says here, week 19. As some of you would be hearing, that COVID-19 is not going away. We're seeing cases rising all over the world, including the Cayman Islands. What I want to caution our public health officials about, yes, we recognize, we realize that the urgency for getting vaccines, boosters, whatever, that urgency has waned quite a bit in the Cayman Islands. And we see what can happen when the urgency is not as great as it was. And the message to public health officials is that we have to continue with the same vigor and determination in terms of making people aware of the need to continue to follow the proper protocols, despite the fact that some have been relaxed, the numbers have increased in terms of gatherings and everything else. But we need to continue to message. The message needs to continue to get out there to people. Otherwise, it is not beyond the realm of possibility, for us to end up with another outbreak here in the Cayman Islands. And maybe not because the effect of the virus may not be as severe as it was initially or previously, but there are persons still who are more susceptible than others, who are more vulnerable than others, who have more comorbidities as well. So, public health officials, government, we need to continue to message. It needs to be more than just the press releases. We still have to emphasize the need to be cautious, the need to observe health protocols as well. So, folks, here are the here is the weekly sitcom report. It says Public Health has issued the COVID-19 situational report for epidemiological or Epi Week 19, 14th of May. And this was on Wednesday, the 19th of May. There says that during week 19, during Epi Week 19, there were a total of 895 new cases of COVID-19 reported by Public Health. this was 147 cases more than what was reported in the previous Epi week, 8th to the 14th of May. Officials have noted that 2,585 tests were conducted in Epi week 19 compared to 2,185 tests in Epi week 18 and 1,897 tests in Epi week 17. The test positivity rate was at 35% for Epi week 18. During Epi week 19, there were 12 inpatients admitted to hospital. Of these, 83% were vaccinated with 2 doses. 66% had received third doses or boosters. There have been 279 COVID-19 patients admitted since March 2020 to May 2022 as well. So those are the figures. They're telling us the numbers are going up, but we need to continue to talk about what is happening. Press releases, yes. If the media houses convey that information to the public, that is great. But there is nothing better than hearing it from the proverbial horse's mouth. And you don't necessarily have to come on to For the Record if you don't want to, but get out there on public radio and let people know what's happening. Tell them what needs to be done. Be proactive so that you then don't have to be reactive. No one knows better than you, officials in public health, that COVID-19 hasn't gone away, isn't going away, and because we know so little about it, we don't know what the next stages may bring to us as well. So again, get out there, get the messages out to people. Otherwise, who knows? I don't want to be a scaremonger in any way. I'm just saying that, and we see it happening not only in the Cayman Islands, but worldwide as well, where people are just taking things for granted. You continue to hear about people traveling to various jurisdictions and seeing, large crowds, people not wearing masks, but at the same time, individuals taking the personal responsibility to ensure that they wear their mask, despite the fact that others may not be masking up as well. So that is extremely important. We hear we get anecdotal evidence of what's happening here in the Cayman Islands as well, possibly with visitors to the island, whether they be cruise tourists or tourists who remain overnight as well. So, meantime, folks, what we can urge you to do here is to take your personal responsibility. If you can wear a mask, wear it when you feel that is necessary, especially in public. Continue to sanitize properly. Those of you who are in public-facing jobs, continue to test. And if you test positively, report it to public health officials, because statistics are important. Numbers are important. And if you hold information back from them, then, we don't know really what's happening. If they can't get the proper figures to deal with that. We're going to take a commercial break, and I just want to tell you that at 8:15 after the 8 o'clock news, we will be talking with members of the Beautification Task Force. I think we also expect the Minister, Honorable Kenneth Bryan, to call in. I don't think he's going to be in the studio to call in, but we will be discussing the Beautification Task Force, its formation, who the members are, and their remit as well. So, folks, please stay tuned for the record. We'll be back shortly.
The Cayman Islands boasts of a long, colorful, and rich history. In tribute to our roots, Radio Cayman, the voice of the Cayman Islands, is pleased to bring you the Historical Vignette Series, brought to you by Rotary Central. For more than 110 years, Rotary members have used their passion, energy, and intelligence to take action on sustainable projects. The Cayman Islands, He hath founded it upon the seas. The 1980s offered a decade of monumental progress as the Cayman Islands built upon its previous few decades of prosperity. In 1981, Northwood Prison was opened, followed by the Law School in 1982. Also in 1982, the Education Department held the first National Children's Festival of the Arts, and the islands celebrated the 150th anniversary of parliamentary government. In 1983, Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth II visited, being the first by a reigning monarch. The turtle farm was also purchased from government, and the first phase of the F.J. Harquail Cultural Center opened. In official business, the Water Authority law came into effect, and the CI Audit Office was established. In 1984, the Cayman National Cultural Foundation law was passed, and Britannia, Cayman's first golf course, was opened.
Since 1993, Rotary Central has worked diligently each year to provide quality bus shelters to our community. A traveling convenience to our school children, the elderly, young people going to work, guest workers, and visitors using the public bus. We, Rotary Central, help you, our advertisers, make it happen. Your marketing dollar travels a far way. Positioning your message, your product, your services, your presence in over 83 bus shelters. Every dollar you spend, every advert you place helps to build another bus shelter, providing modest comfort for Cayman travelers. Reserve space now on the only billboard medium in the Cayman Islands. Email rotaryshelters@gmail.com. rotaryshelters@gmail.com. The Bus Shelters, a partner in community convenience. Another inspiration program by Rotary Central Cayman Islands.
Radio Cayman's Historical Vignettes was brought to you by Rotary Central. For more than 110 years, Rotary members have used their passion, energy, and intelligence to take action on sustainable projects.
What's that? No sugar, same amazing taste? Coca-Cola Zero Sugar is here to stay. Classic taste, pure satisfaction. Be sure to stop into any Tortuga location and get your own case of Coke Zero. Or grab an ice-cold one straight from the cooler. Brought to you by Tortuga Distributors Limited. Coca-Cola, taste the feeling, Cayman.
JN Money, money touchdown. Send the money now. Reach wow. You say you need some money. JN Money, I can send it in a hurry. Get through quick when you come collect your cash, or use your money card and swipe it in a flash. Send funds to any bank, yeah. Pay your bills quick, yeah. Low fees, you know what it, yeah. JN Money, we are pick, yeah. Send and receive funds at any JN Money location. It's fast, affordable, and convenient. Money touchdown with JN Money. Send funds to any bank, yeah. Pay your bills quick, yeah. Low fees, you know what it, yeah. JN Money, we are pick, yeah.
Call 345-945-2014 for details. Available at JN Money locations across the Cayman Islands.
We think it's time you crossed over to a new vehicle. And with the Toyota Corolla Cross now at Vamped Motors, you have plenty of reasons to make the switch. The crossover body and hybrid engine is a sleek design in a sturdy structure with a spacious interior that opens to extensive cargo space. Stuck in traffic? The high-performance self-charging hybrid system automatically switches between gas and electric vehicle mode, helping you lower both fuel costs and carbon emissions. The Corolla Cross has full LED lighting inside and out, an integrated display audio system with energy monitor, and a dual-zone climate control system to ensure comfort for all. Test drive the new Toyota Corolla Cross Hybrid today at Vamt Motors, Walkers Road.
Are you feeling sick, but don't feel ill enough to go to the doctor? Ask your pharmacist for advice. Here at West Bay Pharmacy, our pharmacists have been trained to offer helpful, easy-to-understand advice on the treatment of everyday minor ailments for yourself and all the family. Anything from headaches, cough and sore throat, to cold sores, our pharmacists will know when medical help is needed and will not hesitate to refer you to your doctor if your symptoms demand it. Like doctors, our pharmacists have a professional code, which means all personal information you give them will be treated in the strictest confidence. Visit us today at West Bay Pharmacy, where we care about your health.
System 1 loaded. 1-800-534-8255. What is on your mind when it comes to the government, independence, and the opposition? Issues that matter to you. 1-800-534-8255. Waiting to hear from you. For the record.
This is For the Record with Ort Connor.
Good morning. Welcome back to For the Record. No guests in the studio yet, but as I told you earlier, after the 8 o'clock news, at about 8:15, we will have members of the Beautification Task Force in the studio with us, talking about beautification, and we expect to be joined by telephone by some members. Also, one member from the BRAC, other members who are unable to be in the studio will call in as well, and that will take place after the 8 o'clock news. Meanwhile, let's get some historical information here. We take the clothes. Sometimes some people take the clothing that they wear for granted. There are others who are extremely particular about what they wear and when they wear it as well. The blue jeans, of course, have become commonplace, and I don't know if you all remember the days when the Miss Susan Jordache was a big deal. Well, the blue jeans were actually patented in May the 20th, 1873. That's when they were patented. It says that blue-colored denim has been used to make clothing, including pants, overalls, and other garments, as far back as the 17th century. But on this day, 20th of May, in 1873, blue jeans, as we now know and love them, were born in San Francisco. Businessman Levi Strauss and local tailor Jacob Davis obtained a U.S. patent for an innovation that utilized copper rivets to reinforce the denim material, making the clothing far more durable. Strauss jeans were a huge success, particularly among farmers, factory workers, miners, and cattle ranchers in the American West. Over the next half-century, the popularity of blue jeans spread throughout America and beyond, but they were still considered workwear. That all changed in 1950 with the release of movies like The Wild One and Rebel Without a Cause, starring Hollywood heartthrobs Marlon Brando and James Dean, also known as Jimmy Dean. The two iconic actors and like-minded rock and roll superstars such as Elvis Presley took jeans to a new level, turning the rugged pants into a stylish symbol of youthful rebellion. By the 1960s, jeans had become one of the most popular and fashionable forms of casual, all-gender wear in the U.S. Now a global apparel, they remain emblematic of America and are more ubiquitous than ever. Designer labels now sell upmarket jeans costing hundreds, if not thousands of dollars, blurring the lines between high and low fashion. As for the most expensive jean ever sold, a 100,000 vintage pair of Levi's dating from 1893. I think we have enough time for a caller. Let's grab the caller. Caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Good morning, O.C. How are you today?
Good morning. I'm fine, my friend. How are you?
Good, thanks. Well, it's interesting to hear that history of the jeans.
Yes.
I remember that we used to buy jeans like before they became pre-faded. You buy them, and then you keep wishing and overwashing them, hoping that they can become like faded and torn up because you thought they look good.
Yes,
okay?
yes, yes.
But now we don't have to do that. You can go into the shop and have them already torn up and pre-faded. You know, it's very interesting how these things are.
So true.
Develop. Yeah. Now, just one little thing. I'll see. As you know, that my case, you might remember my case for the appeal is coming up before the Court of Appeal on the 31st of August.
Okay.
There is a little bit of something that I want to put to the public because it is important to the public. When you appeal a case, when it goes before the Court of Appeal, as you will know, it will normally go to only one judge of the Court of Appeal, and that's the one who decides it first. And if they decide against you and you are unhappy, then you can renew your appeal
to the full court,
the full panel, yeah, to the full court. Exactly. Now, one thing that is very interesting is that the practice in the court at the moment is that judgment which is made by the Court of Appeal judge is not made public. Okay, they will give you as a party to the case. They will give you that, but it is not made public. And why it is not made public, I do not know. So I asked them in my case, I said, why hasn't this been made public like all other judgments put on the website? Because these days you can go there and if you've got cases, you say, my name is O.C. Connor, all the cases will come up. They didn't put it there. And I found out it was deliberate that they did not want it to be public. So I wrote formally to the court and I told them, I said, can you have it put there? They told me their policy.
Now, this is the final judgment, not a preliminary one that has been done by one judge.
Well, this is the preliminary one, which has been done by just one judge.
Okay, so if we were to compare it to what's happening in the U.S. Supreme Court now with Samuel Alito and that document that was leaked out, the document that you're talking about would be similar to that document?
No. In fact, it's good that you asked that. No. It's good you asked that question. No. In the Alito cases, you know, of course, this was a draft judgment,
right,
which the whole court was supposed to consider and then issue. Okay. But this one is not that. This one is a case where one single judge actually decides the case and actually signs the judgment and gives it to the parties. It is the judgment.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so that if you are unhappy with that, and I was unhappy with my ruling, then now I was free to appeal it to the full court, which I have done.
Understood.
But all I'm saying is that that particular judgment in the Cayman Islands, an officially issued judgment by a judge of the Court of Appeal, it is always kept secret. And they do not reveal it. So I've asked them that I think the policy should change because under the law, all cases are supposed to be heard in public except in a few cases, a few restricted cases. And what they should do is that right to have a public hearing includes the right to have your judgment made public as well. Because it is, if I didn't appeal it to the full panel, that would be the judgment. That's the one which the lawyers are going to look at and are going to give legal advice.
Right.
So I just believe that is wrong. They should change that policy, and I just wanted to go public about that so that they know that they should change it.
Thank you very much for that, Billy. That's good public information that we needed. Certainly gives me a better understanding of the legal situation as well. Thank you very much for that, Billy.
Thank you, Kelsey. Thanks very much. Bye-bye.
Take care. Folks, top of the hour, 8 o'clock news. When we return, we will have our guest in the studio. So please stay tuned for the record. We'll be back immediately after the 8 o'clock news.
Thank you, Mr. Connor. And studio time by Foster's is 7:59. At Foster's, we have better prices, so you can save big on your groceries.
Just like Purex laundry detergent. Selected varieties, only $3.99. Save $3. We also have Tostitos chips. Original 10-ounce pack for just $2.19. Save $3.50. And Listerine mouthwash, 33.8-ounce. Selected varieties, only $6.79. Save $2.90.
You'll find even more great specials in all Foster's locations or online with Foster's Go. Foster's, better prices because we care.
Price is good until June 1st, 2022. Find more specials at fosters.ky.
The voice of the Cayman Islands.
89.9 FM in Grand Cayman and 93.9 FM in Cayman Brac and Little Cayman.
Silver wings shining in the sunlight.
Radio Cayman.
The 8 a.m. news is brought to you by ValueMed Pharmacy. Save time and order your prescription refills online at value-medpharmacy.com. VALU-medpharmacy.com.
For today's biggest news.
Radio Cayman, the voice of the Cayman Islands.
With your latest news, I'm Carson Fuller. The funeral for the late national hero, the Honorable Sybil McLaughlin, MBEJP, is taking place today at Elmsley Memorial Church starting at 1 p.m. The country is marking a national day of mourning for Miss Sybil with a minute of silence at 9 a.m. across all three islands. She received full lying in state honors at the House of Parliament on Thursday. After today's funeral, there will be a hero's farewell at Hero Square with a 21-gun salute by the RCIPS. In other news, the COVID-19 situational report for Epidemiological Week 19 is out. Radio Cayman's April Cummings has more.
EpiWeek 19 covers the period from the 8th to the 14th of May and shows a 16% increase in new positive cases for COVID-19. The report, issued by the Ministry of Health and Wellness, says this represents a smaller increase than in the previous week, despite more PCR tests carried out and a similar positivity rate. In EpiWeek 19, there were a total of 895 new cases of COVID-19 reported by Public Health, 147 more than the prior week. 12 inpatients were admitted to hospital over the period, 83% were vaccinated with 2 doses, and 66% had received third doses or boosters. The report says there have been 279 patients admitted between March 20th and the 14th of May 2002. April Cummings, Radio Cayman News.
Cayman Finance says it welcomes the Tax Justice Network making progress towards a more realistic measure of financial secrecy in its 2022 Financial Secrecy Index. A statement from the Financial Services Organization says by improving the report's methodology, the FSI highlights that the greatest threat from financial secrecy comes from some of the largest onshore countries, such as the United States, Japan, and Germany. The Cayman Islands, on the other hand, is now given a transparency rating that puts it down in 14th place, more transparent than 5 G20 countries. And the Cayman Islands Department of Tourism says it's excited to be organizing the upcoming Cayman Islands Air Show in collaboration with the Civil Aviation Authority and with support from the Queen's Platinum Jubilee Steering Committee. The DOT says it's been 20 years since the last Cayman Islands Air Show. On Friday, June 3rd, expect an air display at Public Beach, followed by an aircraft exhibit at Owen Roberts International Airport. The air show will continue in Cayman Brac on June 4th with a parachute display and aircraft exhibit at Charles Kirkconnell International Airport. Now with a check of international news, here's the BBC, which will take us out of the newscast. I'm Carsley Fuller from Radio Cayman's newsroom.
BBC News with Jerry Smith. The United States is putting pressure on the British government to resolve its dispute with the European Union over Northern Ireland trade. A senior State Department official said the row risked undermining Western unity on Ukraine. The Ukrainian military says Russian forces have intensified their offensive in the eastern Donbas region. They say the Russians are using heavy firepower to damage Ukrainian defences around Donetsk. A cybersecurity group says pro-Russian hackers have accessed government websites in Italy. They say a group called Killnet encouraged people to launch the attacks in a post on the social media site Telegram. President Biden is scheduled to tour a Samsung computer chip plant in South Korea on the opening day of his first trip to Asia since taking office. He's also expected to discuss security issues on his visit to South Korea and Japan. A court in Israel has charged a right-wing activist with extortion and illegal possession of a firearm for sending death threats to the Prime Minister and his family last month. The police said Ilana Sporta Hania had sent a letter with a bullet to Naftali Bennett. She denies the charges. Gabon has called on developed nations to pay for the upkeep of its mangroves and forests that are helping to absorb the world's excess carbon. Gabon's Minister for the Environment said that failing to conserve the dense rainforest of the Congo Basin would mean the world has lost the fight against climate change. British police are investigating an altercation between the Premier League football manager Patrick Vieira and a fan on Thursday night. The incident happened during a pitch invasion prompted by Everton's dramatic victory over Vieira's team, Crystal Palace. The French former footballer appeared to kick out at a supporter who'd been taunting him. BBC News.
The 8 a.m. news is brought to you by ValueMed Pharmacy. Save time and order your prescription refills online at value-medpharmacy.com. VALU-medpharmacy.com. Did you know that ValueMed Pharmacy has a free online prescription service? Managing your health and medical requirements has never been easier with ValueMed. Simply visit value-medpharmacy.com. That's VALU-medpharmacy.com and click the Refill Prescriptions tab on our website. Fill in the information for new prescriptions or refills and choose your preferred pickup location. ValueMed on Walkers Road or Town. Then bring in your original prescription from your doctor when picking up. There's no need to stand in line and wait for your prescription. Save time and pick up prescriptions at your convenience by visiting value-medpharmacy.com. That's VALU-medpharmacy.com.
Stay in touch with Radio Cayman for the latest in news and information.
Follow Radio Cayman on social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Download the Radio Cayman app or log on to our website, www.radiocayman.gov.ky.
Radio Cayman, your voice, your choice, your radio.
The Health Services Authority's new pharmacy is now open at the Smith Road Medical Center. The new location features a large, comfortable waiting area and ticketing system to improve the patient experience. All uncollected prescriptions and refill requests previously submitted will now be available for collection at the Smith Road Pharmacy. Request your refills online at hsa.ky via WhatsApp 925-6532 or call 244-2715. For more information about our pharmacy hours, visit hsa.ky.
The Cayman Islands Justices of the Peace Association will be holding its annual general meeting on Tuesday, 24th May, 6:30 p.m. at the Georgetown Yacht Club, 2nd floor. All members of the association are encouraged to attend, as the agenda will include the changeover of council members.
Radio Cayman News.
19 named storms, 9 hurricanes, and 4 major hurricanes. An above average season.
Cayman Islands are experiencing some of the highest levels of irregular migration in recent history.
Ms. Sybil will receive a lying-in state, accompanied by a guard of honor inside the House of Parliament.
Radio Cayman. Your voice, your choice for today's biggest news.
The 8:12 a.m. weather report, brought to you by CG Britcay, where people come first.
Good morning, everyone. Hello? Hello? Oh, sorry, I was on mute. Okay, I see we have just about everyone, and of course Tom drops off, as per usual. Let's just wait a minute here. He always comes right back, and we're almost ready, and... oh, whoever's dog that is, please go on mute. Why won't it let me share my screen? Okay, looks like we're ready to start.
We're like a video conference with no technical issues. CG Britcay. Good like that.
Pleasant good morning. Let's take a look at the latest weather report. Current temperature is 83 degrees. Relative humidity is 79%. The barometric pressure 29.94 inches and falling. The wind is out of the southeast at 11 knots. Overnight low temperature was 81 degrees. Synopsis indicate cloudiness and showers over the northwest Caribbean is expected to continue to wane as a high-pressure system builds over the central Atlantic Ocean. This building pressure will support an increase in winds across the area over the next few days and will also make seas rough across the Cayman area. Satellite images show scattered multi-level clouds in and around the Cayman area, and the forecast for today calling for partly cloudy skies with a 30% chance of showers, and temperatures will be in the mid to upper 80s. Winds will be east to southeast at 10 to 15 knots with higher gusts. Seas will be moderate with wave heights of 3 to 5 feet. Pretty much the same for tonight. Partly cloudy skies with a 30% chance of showers, and temperatures will fall to the mid-70s tonight. Winds will be east to southeast at 15 to 20 knots with higher gusts. Seas will be moderate to rough with wave heights of 4 to 6 feet, and small craft should exercise caution over open waters. We're presently at a low tide, and the next high tide will be this afternoon at 8 minutes past 1, and a low tide again tonight at 7:41. The sun will set this evening at 6:54 and will rise tomorrow morning at 5:49. And the outlook is calling for similar weather conditions through Saturday evening.
The 8:12 a.m. weather report brought to you by CG Britcay, where people come first.
Head east on Cove Road. Sharp left on Church Street. Sharper left. No, your other left. Did I say left? Nope, you missed it. Okay, I'm lost.
With money-saving bundling options for home and motor, we're like a GPS that doesn't steer you wrong. CG Britcay. Good like that.
Let's stop and ask for directions.
The traffic report is brought to you by Subway. Planning a meeting, event, or office celebration? Visit subway.ky to place your catering order today.
Good morning once again. Let's take a look at what's happening on the roads. Traffic coming off of the Esterly Tibbetts Highway is busy. Slight delays expected. Continuing on to the Industrial Park area, traffic is steady but flowing. Moderate flow of traffic on North Sound Road. As we look to Godfrey Dixon Way and Eastern Avenue, traffic is flowing at a good pace. Busy traffic coming from the east on Cool Road heading to Georgetown, and eastbound traffic on Cool Road is moving along pretty good. And steady but flowing traffic coming from the east on Shamrock Road and the Linford Pearson Highway. And traffic is steady coming off of Bobby Thompson Way as well as Agnes Way. As we look to the Westway Road and from the Ritz, traffic is moving moderately in both directions. Coming from the Westway four-way stop, traffic flowing at a good pace. Edward Street downtown Georgetown looking pretty good as traffic is flowing nicely. Owen Roberts Drive, light to moderate traffic flow. And that's what's happening on your roads. Join us again at about 10 minutes after 12 o'clock. We'll give you another traffic report.
Subway is serving up a special new sauce, bursting with flavor in every bite. The new Savory Collection is a tropical sweet and spicy sauce made with a combination of spices, habanero peppers, thyme, onion, black pepper, ginger, citrus juices, and molasses.
So good.
Wow.
Sensational. Delicious.
Subway's Savory Collection pairs perfectly with our oven roasted chicken or steak sub. Savor the flavor. For a limited time, only at Subway. Subway. Eat fresh.
The traffic report is brought to you by Subway. Planning a meeting, event, or office celebration? Visit subway.ky to place your catering order today.
Due to infrastructure upgrades, customers on Woodland Drive and Walbridge Drive off Shamrock Road in Lower Valley will experience interruptions to their electrical service on Wednesday, May 25th between 9 a.m. and 2 p.m. For more information on the outage, please contact CUC's customer service team at 949-5200 or email service@cuc.ky.
The Civil Service Association asks our members to join us on May 26 at 1 p.m. to choose our next Management Council at the 2022 Annual General Meeting. We're looking for a few good people to help us mature into an active, well-known, and indispensable employee organization. This is an exciting opportunity to give back while developing your leadership skills in employee rights and relations. Visit us at sixa.ky to learn more.
Your Radio Cayman 6 p.m. news, Monday through Friday, is brought to you by Logic. Your life connected.
For the record, with Ort Connor.
Initiating system.
For information that matter. For the record, with Ort Connor. Continues right now on Radio Cayman.
Good morning and welcome back to For the Record. As promised, we have members of the Cayman Islands Beautification Task Force in the studio with us. We will be talking about their remit, what they're all about, what their plans are. We will be introducing you to the members, some members of the committee as well, some who are in the studio, sharing also with you the names of those who are not in the studio as well, telling you who the chairperson is, and all of those good things. Meanwhile, we do have Minister Brian on the phone, and we may even ask him to do the introductions in terms of the members as well. Minister Brian, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Good morning, OC, and good morning to my honorable members in the room. It's a pleasure to call into Radio Cayman today and talk about the Cayman Islands Beautification Task Force. OC, I do apologize. I'm gonna revert that responsibility back to you because I can't see who's in the room because I'm on the phone. But it may be a good idea to do the introduction, and then after that introduction of the members, I can give the vision of this goal, and then my team can take it away and sell it to the rest of the country as to what we're going to be doing. Okay, so the members that we have in the studio with us, we have Miss Karen Hides, also known as KK, Miss KK. I'm going to introduce the better-looking ones first, and then after that, I'll introduce one else. And we also have Miss Romelia, welcome in the studio with us. So, Miss Karen, good morning. Welcome to For the Record. Miss Romelia, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Good morning. Happy to be here.
And a voice that you hear occasionally, we got him on the other side this morning. Instead of the call-in side, he will be receiving the calls, none other than Mr. Graham Rankin, Lord Graham. Lord Graham, good morning. Welcome to the studio.
Good morning to you and good morning to the listening public.
Yes.
All right, Minister.
And to the Minister.
Thank you so much, and good morning, members. It is a pleasure to be there, and a special good morning to Lord Graham. It's such an honor to have him on the show, and also Ms. Romelia and KK. I want to take this opportunity first off, though, to say thank you to all the members of the Beautification Task Force before I give you the vision of what this is all about, and also highlight my parliamentary secretary, Ms. Heather Bodden, who is the main team leader in respect to this. Unfortunately, she couldn't make it this morning due to some other factors. And also the chairperson, Ms. Teresa Lewis Pitcairn, who's going to be guiding this vision that I'm about to explain. OC and the Greater Cayman Islands, we at the Park administration have seen, like many Caymanians over the years, where we have slipped down a very slippery slope of our country's beauty and standard that we've had for so many decades. This all happened in the growth of our economy and the influx of many different nationalities, which brought different types of cultures and behaviors. And many administrations have tried to address the problem by doing things like beautification events, planting of trees, doing cleanups, and the like. And for one reason or the other, it doesn't really change things. It helps for a day or two or a week or two, and before you know it, our standard in the cleanliness of our country kind of dissipates again. So once we in the Park administration talked about the reintroduction of the Beautification Committee, we had to re-examine and say, what are we trying to accomplish here? We want to accomplish bringing back the culture and the standard of keeping our country clean in every way you can think of, whether it's the garbage, whether it's keeping our neighborhoods, whether it's our businesses, whether it's our attitude and how we deliver. Cleanliness is an attitude. It's not only about putting things in the garbage. It's not only about painting your building. It's not only about keeping your neighborhoods in a certain standard. We want to bring back the ethos of what the Caymanian culture was for everybody, even those Caymanians who have forgotten it, as well as those who have joined the Caymanian family and now call Cayman their home or temporary home by way of work and play. So we decided that what is going wrong in the country that's causing this? And we recognize and in the vision is that we have laws in our country that are not being enforced. And as a result, we decided to change the beautification committee to a beautification task force.
Okay.
Now, the task force's goal is to ensure that the laws that are currently made by many past administrators who obviously supports the Cayman culture of keeping the businesses and communities and neighborhoods clean, that can be carried out. And those laws, which my team will sit down and discuss with you today, the many different sections of the law, people are not being held to account with them. The public, people like myself, yourself, in the neighborhoods, in your homes, in your businesses, and your upkeep. Just little examples like the littering law, the town and country law, the traffic law, the DOE law. There's many different sections of the law that holds people accountable to a certain type of behavior. Now, the one that many people may focus on, because it's the one that is the biggest eyesore, is the derelict vehicles. And we always try to attack that on a normal basis by going, okay, let's go clean up the vehicles, because it's the big thing that you can touch and feel. But what we're trying to change is a behavior. And the way we can do that is by, just like how every other society does it, is by the enforcement of the law, holding people accountable. And I hate to say it like this, but if you think about parenting, the only way a child stops a particular type of behavior is they understand that there's repercussions for doing it. So if you say to your child, you have to clean up your room, otherwise you don't get, to go to the movies, and the child continues to do that, then they don't get to go to the movies, or they get penalized in some way. So we want to now focus on the enforcement of these legislation that we do have, see how functional they are once they're properly being enforced, and if they're not functioning enough to get back the culture and the attitude of the Caymanian people, then we will also make recommendations through this committee and through these amazing members who will try to do a legal analysis to recommend to me as minister and to the other members of cabinet and caucus about maybe strengthening the legislation to hold people accountable to the standard that we all live in. So the vision of this task force is simply that, holding ourselves accountable for what we want Cayman to be, because we have lost that. Now, the members that you see in the room, as well as the other members that will be listed that's on the committee, are people that we believe that understand that vision and also not afraid to hold ourselves accountable to that vision. Don't think for 1 second it wasn't strategically done to have people like the Honorable Miss KK in the room, the Honorable Lord Graham in the room, and Miss Romelia Welcome, who you know is a champion for keeping our communities clean and have been doing so for decades. So, and Miss Teresa Lewis Pitcairn, who is the chairperson, who will be the legal guide as to examining and understanding the legislation, where the powers lie, what agencies, what departments have those powers, and hold those departments accountable to doing their job. For example, you've seen recently where there was a number of vehicles on the side of the road. The question is, what law has been broken? Once a car is left on the side of the road or a derelict situation, that's a law that has been broken, and therefore there is an agency responsible for the enforcement of that law. So there's a lot of failings within government where, as minister or in charge of the beautification committee, I want my team to identify what law has been broken, which agency is responsible for it, and remind them of their accountability to enforce their section of the law, because I want to make sure it's clear that I understand that security of this country does not fall under the remit of any elected member in the government. But it is our responsibility to hold those who are responsible for security and enforcement accountable to do their job. For example, not picking on the police, but unfortunately they're the only ones that we can talk about as a practical example for the public to understand. If there's a law that is broken, why hasn't the police created a case in respect to these many derelict vehicles to say, listen, you cannot do that, because only until people realize there's a penalty along with it will they stop these behaviors. So again, I'm not going to go much further by selling this, but I want you to understand what the vision and plan is of how we're going to change this culture through my members this morning who's going to be talking about that. There's other elements of the task force committee, that task force, beautification task force, will be talking about, like education, marketing, and information in the schools, in their communities, and I'll leave them to talk about that. But I wanted to start the discussion this morning with the ethos of why we started this and what we hope to accomplish, because we believe that this beautification task force can grow into bigger and better things. And those who are listening via the radio this morning, I want you to give this committee all your support, the private sector, to jump on board on this vision, because we got to get Cayman back before we lose it. And I know that, OC, you know about the broken window syndrome. And I believe that we are starting at that point now. And if we don't get a handle on it now, we may lose what we know as Cayman. So I'm going to leave it there. I'm going to say good luck to my members. Go ahead and sell this vision. Go ahead and take Cayman back and bring it back to the standard it should be, and explain to the public what our vision is. And I'm going to just listen via the radio so they can take their rightful place leading this charge moving forward.
Thank you very much, Minister. For that as well. Okay. So we have about 4 minutes before we go to a commercial break. I just want to say to our listening audience that we will be taking calls later. We just before 9 o'clock, maybe a minute before 9, we will be off the air because we're going to be observing that minute of silence in honor of our national hero, the late Sybil McLaughlin, as well. So just want to remind you of that. So in the few minutes that I have before we go to the break, I just want to bring to our audience attention the other members of the task force, the beautification task force. And you heard Minister Bryan mention the fact that Miss Theresa Luce Pitcairn, she is the chairperson of the task force. The deputy chairperson is Mr. Robert Bodden. Members are Mrs. Feliciana Ebanks, Miss Nikia Esteban, Miss Omeria Gordon, Mrs. Karen Hides, who is in the studio with us, Miss Janet James, Mr. Edney McLean, Mr. Lord Graham Rankin, who's in the studio with us, Miss Marjorie Rive, and also in the studio with us, Miss Romelia Welcome as well. Also included as an ex-officio member is the Director of Environmental Health, or the person who the director nominates. Also the Director of Commerce and Investment, or an individual who's nominated by the director. The Royal Cayman Islands Police Service or a nominated official. Chief Officer in the Ministry of Tourism nominee as well. We also know that the Beautification Task Force will report to the Ministry of Tourism and will work closely with a cross-section of government agencies, including the Department of Environmental Health, the Department of Public Lands, and the Royal Cayman Islands Police Service, amongst others. So we're going to take a commercial break now. When we return, we will first be talking about the various phases of the work that the task force will be undertaken, and we will be talking about phase 1. So folks, please stay tuned. For the record, we'll be back immediately after this short commercial break.
JN money touchdown. Send the money now. Reach wow. You say you need some money, JN money, I can send it in a hurry. Get through quick when you come collect your cash, or use a money card and swipe it in a flash. Send funds to any bank, yeah. Pay your bills quick, yeah. Low fees, you know it, yeah. JN money, we are pick, yeah. Send and receive funds at any JN money location. It's fast, affordable, and convenient. Money touchdown with JN money. Send funds to any bank, yeah. Pay your bills quick, yeah. Low fees, you know it, yeah. JN money, we are pick, yeah.
Call 345-945-2014 for details. Available at JN Money locations across the Cayman Islands.
What's that? No sugar, same amazing taste? Coca-Cola Zero Sugar is here to stay. Classic taste, pure satisfaction. Be sure to stop into any Tortuga location and get your own case of Coke Zero. Or grab an ice-cold one straight from the cooler. Brought to you by Tortuga Distributors Limited. Coca-Cola, taste the feeling, K-Man.
At Doctors Hospital, we know life happens, and usually when you least expect it. So when unexpected medical issues arise, you need quality care close to home. Located in the heart of Georgetown, our accomplished team of physicians and medical staff treat minor urgent conditions such as migraines, chest and abdominal pain, shortness of breath, burns, broken bones, open wounds, and more. 24 hours, 7 days a week with no appointment necessary. Peace of mind is important when life happens. At Doctors Hospital, we're always here just for you. Need to speak to someone? Call 949-6066.
Hello, K-Man. Join us on Saturday, May 21st for the Progressives Family Fun Day. It will be a day full of fun for all the family. Lots of food, music, prizes, and surprises. The fun begins at 11 a.m. on the beach a half-mile east of the Frank Sound Junction. See our Facebook pages for transportation details.
System 1 loaded.
1-800-534-8255. What is on your mind when it comes to the government, independence, and the opposition? Issues that matter to you. 1-800-534-8255. Waiting to hear from you. For the Record.
This is For the Record with Ort Connor.
Good morning. Welcome back to For the Record. I want to remind our listeners and viewers that in the studio with me this morning are some members of the Cayman Islands Beautification Task Force. They are Miss Karen Hides, Mr. Graham Rankin, and Miss Romelia. Welcome. So we're going to be talking about their work, and let's talk about Phase 1, which is going to run from now until sometime in June, I believe?
In June, yes.
Okay.
We're going to run from now to the 10th of June. And before I start, I just want to thank the minister for calling in this morning and giving us the introduction. I want to thank him for the privilege of putting the trust in us to be part of this committee.
Okay.
It's very important. It's a very important committee. And I know sometimes we've heard so much about it and, you know, people didn't get the job done, but we're not here for that. We're going to be here to get the work done. We really want our place clean. And I'm like I said, I'm privileged to be part of this committee, and I thank him for the trust he put in us to put us here. And we're going to work, and we're going to get these things done. I remember the first meeting we had with him. He was very adamant about this. This I think is close to the Honorable Kenneth Bryan's heart, and he wants our place to be clean and to get back where we were. And we totally agree with him. We're all here behind him. He set out what he wanted us to do, and we intend to do that. We intend to get the work done, not to just swarm seats and be here to be on this and that and get our names out there, but we're here to do the work and get our place clean. We realize that that's a big task. We have to educate the public. We have to have the public's input. We have to have them with us because we alone can't do it. Yeah. Each one of our yards got to be clean. So it's a personal thing. It's a personal thing that we need to take pride in, as all the people that are living here, no matter if they're visitors, they're on work permits, no matter what they're here on, we're all here. We're living here. And we need to keep our place clean and presentable to those, especially who are visiting. And Phase 1 is going to start from now till June. And Ms. Teresa is a great chairman, I must say. She has really helped this committee and set us up. We talked about it yesterday that we have to have a plan. You just can't throw in here and say this or that or whatever. We have to have a plan. We have to have dates to go by, and we have to report back to the minister as well. So we have a job to do. We decided that we would set up, subcommittees for the beautification committee. Okay. We would do we would have education. So we have a few people in charge of that. We do the environment and have a few people in charge of that. And me and Lord Graham here and Miss O'Meara, she couldn't make it this morning, but we're in charge of the communication and media and getting the word out there, getting the banners put up, getting what we want to do out there and getting the public educated with it. We also have a legal set that is looking at the rules and the regulations. We realize that there is laws that probably need to be changed or amended or put in place, but there is a lot of laws that we have right now that are not being enforced. So we're looking at that too. We have a legal education team that has met this week and is looking at that. We also have a volunteer drive. Those who want to volunteer to come by, we're going to have applications for them so that they know what is required of them. We're having some T-shirts made up for the volunteers that, says they are volunteers. Sure. And we have a lot of people that are retired, a lot of people that got some time that are very interested, eager to go and want to get into, the help with us and work alongside of us. And we're very, very grateful for that. So we're going to have volunteer applications for those that want to, volunteer. And we just set it up, kind of educate them what they have to do. And we're also want to set up the district committees, which I know a lot of people is wondering about. And we really want to get that set up so that we can have committees in each district to go by. We're the main committee, but we want to have committees in each district that can report to us and help us and assist us. Because the saying goes, the more the merrier. We need a lot of people on board for this.
And they're a very important, cog in that wheel as well.
Extremely.
I'm going to interrupt you for a second, Ms. Karen. We do have the chairperson on the phone as well, so we're going to go to the phone lines. Good morning, Madam Chairperson. Welcome back to For the Record. From a different perspective this morning on the other side.
Good morning, my friends, and good morning, your team, the team that's there representing the group. I have to say right from the outset that I thank the Minister for providing me with another opportunity to serve, although it took some convincing for him to encourage me to assume the responsibility as chair, because I should stress that he had to do some dancing and singing to convince me. But here to be, on a serious note, what I found out in the 1 hour spent with the minister, he was deliberate, he was engaged, passionate, committed, very, very, very convincing. So he sold me on his vision to transform the culture of litter, and is especially assuming and understanding the role that he has as Minister for Tourism, but understanding the importance of shaping and sustaining our economy and how litter actually impacts that negatively. He didn't even, and he's also interested too. And I mean, like I said, the minister, he kept me engaged. He's interested in addressing the root cause of litter. So that he's not about the cosmetics of litter as well, but why do we litter? The cost of living, who actually are more likely to be involved with litter, and actually addressing that, all the endemic and the root causes he's actually focusing on. So this is a humongous task. And, as I said to our group on the 3 occasions that we've now met, we need to have some scope, and we need to know that this is something that we're not doing for a 6-month period or a year. This is something that has to be ongoing. And so I heard Karen speaking about the way in which we ended up having to organize ourselves in different bodies with legal, media communication. She chairs the media communication. Madam Speaker, who I think is with you, the one Romelia, welcome.
Yes, she is.
She is with the environment. Again, amazing, amazing people. OC, this little 1 hour I'm not going to fly by, so I'm going to close my contribution by saying that there's some amazing and remarkable folks that have volunteered their time, and some pretty supportive, smart, engaged, reliable civil servants, and they know who they are. I know we give the civil service a hard time from time to time, but hand on heart, I have been working with this team and those in the Labor Appeals Tribunal, and I have the pleasure of running into them because they are not 9 to 5. They're more 9 to 9, and they're up in the morning with me at 4 o'clock in the morning doing all kind of crazy stuff, because to get this done, you need people who are committed and are really, really willing to get this done. They understand the problem. They want to see this through. And I know my good friend Wes Howell, he's tired of seeing me and seeing these emails that come to me from labor. No, but you see, we always say that the civil service don't work. I can't say that has been my recent experience working with this team and with the Labor Appeals Tribunal. And I'm going to leave that back, return this to you. You have some wonderful people there, and make sure, Madam Speaker, that people really understand that this is no joke this time around, that this is about keeping people candid and accountable.
Yes,
All
ma'am.
right? All right, then later.
Okay, thank you very much for that. Before I hand the mic back over to you, Ms. KK, one of our listeners has written in and said, I want to thank Minister Bryan for his very cogent analysis. And, by the way, the abandoned wrecked car that was a hazard to drivers from Beach Bay Road, I referred to some days ago, was removed after a few days. By whom, I do not know, but someone did take responsibility. As the minister said, it will be good to know who is supposed to take responsibility for these infractions, for those infractions as well. So, okay.
Can I just butt in there?
Sure.
Yeah. I don't want to be as passionate as my good friend KK. In her opening speech, she said, what a pleasure it is to be in a part of this group. Lord Graham, no pleasure of mine of being a part of no group until I see some action.
That's right.
Right?
Absolutely.
So saying that I don't want to be kicking the can further down the street. I don't want to be in no meeting to plan to have a meeting. That's not what I'm here for. And until I see people charge and go to court and pay fines, because I have a lot of friends who have been charged for speeding, parking on the yellow line, talking on the phone, but I've seen more garbage on the road than I've seen speeding. I've seen more garbage on the road than I've seen people talking on the phone. I walk the street a lot, all around South Sound, coming down. You want to see garbage? Walk from Scotia to King's Gym. You want to see a lot of garbage, and that's right on the main road. That's right on the main road. So until people are in court, people are charged, work permit are canceled, PR is canceled, I'm going that far, I am not being or jumping up clapping about being a part of no group until I start seeing people pay for infractions, offenses and stuff that they have created, or the way they destroy and have no respect. They have no respect for this country, the people that come here, and the people that live here, and the Caymanians.
Yes.
So until I start seeing people drag into court and paying fines, then I'll be clapping my hands.
Okay. Ms. Susan, this is a good time for us to take that commercial break. When we return, one of our listeners has said, good morning, salute to the committee, and they were asking whether or not we could provide contact information where contributions can be made from the public as well. So I want to bear that in mind in our discussions. Folks, please stay tuned. For the record, we'll be back shortly.
We think it's time you crossed over to a new vehicle. And with the Toyota Corolla Cross now at Vant Motors, you have plenty of reasons to make the switch. The crossover body and hybrid engine is a sleek design in a sturdy structure with a spacious interior that opens to extensive cargo space. Stuck in traffic? The high-performance self-charging hybrid system automatically switches between gas and electric vehicle mode, helping you lower both fuel costs and carbon emissions. The Corolla Cross has full LED lighting inside and out, an integrated display audio system with energy monitor, and a dual-zone climate control system to ensure comfort for all. Test drive the new Toyota Corolla Cross Hybrid today at Vant Motors, Walkers Road.
Since March 2004, West Bay Pharmacy has kept their doors open to the local communities, even before, during, and after Hurricane Ivan. At West Bay Pharmacy, our staff provides so much more than pharmaceutical excellence. From the moment you walk through our doors to completing your cash out, our staff will have put your healthcare concerns at ease. We would like to take this moment to thank our loyal friends and customers. To us at West Bay Pharmacy, our patients are our primary concern. We provide thorough background checks and precise calculations to ensure your medical safety. Thank you for being a part of our family and for choosing West Bay Pharmacy, where we care about your health.
Hi, I'm remodeling a bathroom. I have a few questions.
Sure.
What are some ideas to make my bathroom feel larger? How do I know if I'm picking the right vanity? How do I choose a new toilet or a new countertop? Also, the lighting is terrible. Can I put a window or a skylight? And do I really need an exhaust fan?
You've come to the right place. At Brand Source, we custom design kitchen and baths, and our talented design team can help answer your questions. Whether you're looking for a modern, functional family bathroom or a luxurious personal retreat, we'll help create that beautiful space that makes your home yours. And if you're in a rush for a new look and have a limited budget, our ready-to-install bathroom vanities, built with solid wood and countertops of the finest materials, are a quick and easy remodeling solution.
For the very best in custom-designed kitchens and baths, visit Brand Source Home Gallery on Dorsey Drive, Industrial Park, Cayman's Kitchen and Bath Center.
For the record, with Ort Connor.
Initiating system. For information that matters. For the record, with Ort Connor. Continues right now on Radio Cayman.
Good morning. Welcome back to For the Record. We're going to hear from more members in the studio from our panelists who are members of the Cayman Islands Beautification Task Force. I just want to remind our listeners and our viewers that at around 30 seconds before 9 o'clock, we will be shifting over to Miss Susan in the control room where we will begin that minute of silence in honor of our national hero, Honorable Sybil McLaughlin, as well. So we're going to hand the mic over to Miss Romelia. Welcome. Community activist in the Cayman Islands, well known. Miss Romelia, good morning again.
Good morning, and thank you, Ms. Dorsey, for having us, and good morning to our radio listeners. Phase 2 would commence around from July 1st through August 31st. And in Phase 2, our main points in what we would like to highlight is the identification of derelict vehicles on Crown properties, on private properties, or just in our streets, in which district volunteers will conduct district tours and visit homes, properties, communities, and report back to us what they have found, send in pictures, and give us location to where we would be able to locate these derelict vehicles. The identification and removal of illegal garages on Crown land and on private properties. And we have a lot of those that are in our communities illegally for years. We've been trying, and I have strong confidence that this team is about action and getting it done. For a lot of reasons, eyesore to our communities, health issues. We have our seniors living in our communities, and the spraying of vehicles, the foam and all of that is not good. Yeah, so we want to be able to hold those responsible that needs to be held accountable. The identification of sufficient garbage receptacles and identification of illegal dumping. We have a lot of illegal dumping throughout our island. I have drove from East End to West Bay, and I have seen the dump sites. I've took pictures of the dump sites where we will be putting in no dumping signs, and there are hefty fines for illegal dumping. So we're looking to put a cap on that as well. Legal subcommittees will develop strategies to communicate the laws, make suggestions for upgrades, changes in the current legislation, figure out the time frame involved, develop strategies and partnership with existing organizations to support their work, including recycling, and figure out the time frame involved. Develop education campaigns, example, the litter law, health and environmental impact of derelict vehicles. And trust me, the things that I have seen with the comments on derelict vehicles, we have
visit properties that have derelict vehicles thrown down for years. Rats as big as cats was jumping out of those vehicles. Those rats tends to get into your car, eat up your wires into your house, and eat up your electrical wires, cause fire, and all that sort of things. So we need to be mindful of the outcome of these harboring these derelict vehicles and harboring unwanted rodents and that sort of stuff. Develop public awareness campaign, as public needs to be made aware of the responsibilities. So there are some points on regarding our phase 2 of what we will be looking to enforce, and by the help of our people, the people in our community, because we cannot do it alone, with their help of coming on board, if it even just pick up the phone and call us or email us or send us a WhatsApp photo. And the idea and the intention is to get on top of it and get it done.
Okay, we still have about 9 minutes left. Now, before we go to our break, and rather than going on to other phases and things, several of the issues that you mentioned, Ms. Romelia, are extremely topical. And what I would like us to do, if we could sort of like hone in and focus in a little bit more on these. Let's start with the identification of derelict vehicles on Crown property and on private properties, in which district volunteers will conduct district tours and visit home properties and property owners as well. Now, I recall after Hurricane Ivan, we had a lot of derelict vehicles on the roads as well, all over the place. We had situations where people just left their cars parked on the side of the road and took the free Cayman Airways flights that were going out, and some of them never returned to the Cayman Islands. So the cleanup company that we had, they had a program along with the Royal Cayman Islands Police Service in terms of tagging these vehicles and everything. Now, when it comes to vehicles on private property, what sort of incentives would we try to use to convince people that they should remove those cars from there? You know, you have a car and it breaks down and you replace that car with another car. But there's something in our psyche that says we still want to hold on to that car, even though it may not have any intrinsic value, to us. We hold on to it.
Sentimental.
How do we go about, convincing these people?
Yeah, we actually talked about that yesterday in our meeting, that we have to be very careful how we approach each one. I mean, if it's somebody that you know that you can talk to. Also, Mr. Sims has been very helpful in this because that's what his department does.
Right.
So I think some of them we would refer to him because they're within the law to do it, which we don't have that kind of legal background to do, or authority, the DEH does. So we were talking about that yesterday in the meeting. And if there's anyone that that might want to do it, we will have it done. We will have it removed. We're going to have an amnesty period as well before we start to really get on these people, But we're giving them a chance, and we're working very closely with Mr. Sims to get those issues solved. But, we are going to people, and if they can't afford it right now or whatever, we have been alerting Mr. Sims, and they have been taking care of a lot of them.
Sure, go ahead.
I'll say, concerning the derelict vehicles, a lot of the vehicles that are broken down and placed on the side of the road or in the yard goes a lot deeper than the person who owns the car. I think the government have to play a part in that, because a lot of the cars that are being imported to people here, especially work permit people, are domestic cars coming out of Japan. They're domestic cars. They're not for export. The car will get here and it'll break down. The wheel breaks off something, and they cannot get a part for that particular vehicle. It's not being sold in the stores here. Jamaica used to provide it before, but I think Jamaica now have banned those same vehicle I'm making mention of from coming to their country. So there's no part for the vehicle. So the vehicle is not that the owner wants to leave it on the side of the road or abandon it at his house, but he just don't have the ability to get the part. So until the government steps in and stop making every single person that jumps off the airplane import a vehicle of that sort, then we will continuously have this problem, because we're getting like 380 cars every Thursday night on Seaboard Marine or something like that. That's a lot of cars to be imported into a small country where don't even have the infrastructure to
accommodate them.
That amount of vehicles. KK mentioned earlier that we have now three lanes, and it's helping. But I noticed that the 3 lanes, when we had 1 lane were full, then we went to 2, and the 2 lanes are full. Now we got 3, and the 3 lanes are now full. So, where do we stop? Where do we stop?
Now, do we believe that the fact that I believe that when a car is imported, there's a government fee that is paid, and
to dispose of that car,
right,
at the end of its existence.
So does that create a mentality amongst vehicle owners? I have paid that fee already, so why should I now, go to the, once I turn the plates in, why should I have to go to that responsibility?
People have that mentality. Yeah. They say, I already paid for them, then dispose the car.
So we probably need to look for an innovative way to incentivize those individuals, to be able, even if it means giving a $50 rebate.
Right.
To the person, if they turned it in, because at this point in time, it seems as if the market for scrap is still open, and our ability to export the scrap metal, is still there. So we may need to look for some incentive to be able to do that.
But compare the cost of moving it from the from wherever it's located to the dump, and then taking it and doing whatever they do there, crush it or whatever, and then putting it on using a excavator to put it on a truck and drive it from there to down to the dock and take it off and put it on the barge. I don't think it's feasible.
Well, we may need to review that fee that the government is charging for when a vehicle is imported, as well. What that may also do, that may also solve the issue of persons obtaining cars domestically. So, one person is leaving, they sell it to someone else, who's here, rather than that person bringing in, another vehicle or something like that. We have to really find innovative ways of doing that as well. Who has something that they want to say in about we do have Miss O'Meara on the line as well, but we only have about two 2 minutes before we come to you, Ms. Susan. How do you want to handle this? Okay.
Because O'Meara talks a lot.
Yeah. No, we're gonna definitely be accommodating her. Oh, you know what we could do, Ms. KK, that question that the individual had about contacting if they wanted to make contributions, we can share that information if you will, please.
Yes, we have an email that we've created. We got on our Facebook page up and working. Our email is BTF, which is the Beautification Task Force, Cayman1@gmail.com. That's BTF Cayman1@gmail.com. If you want to do any contributions, want any information, please give us an email at that email address.
Okay. Ms. Susan, you're still not ready for us yet? Are you? Okay. So
also, Ms. Dosie, if I may.
Yes, you may.
I would like to add to what Ms. Karen said earlier. We will have forms where people can fill out if they would like to have the derelict vehicles removed from their properties. So we will be going around with forms in this free period to so they would sign up the forms, and then we would in turn hand them in to DEH, and DEH will go and collect them while this free period is on. So that would be a way for them to say, okay, well, they don't have to pay for the to get this disposal, done, to the disposal. And also, yes, there's an environmental fee charge when the vehicle come into the island. But if you don't have no use for your vehicle and you take it to the dump, there's no charge. But if they have to come and pick it up, it is a $75 charge.
Okay. But and this also would be an excellent opportunity, Lord Graham, and we can when we return we can talk about this as well. Maybe to involve local companies in being involved in the pickup of vehicles as well, because remember the DEH, they have their other responsibilities that they have to take off as well. Yeah. So if subcontracts were issued to persons who had flatbeds or tow trucks or whatever, that would be the case. Okay, we're going to Ms. Susan, top of the hour, headline news at 9 o'clock, and the minute of silence for the Honorable Sybil McLaughlin. Please stay.
In the Cayman Islands.
Today has been declared a National Day of Mourning in the Cayman Islands in honor of the passing of our national hero, the Honorable Sybil McLaughlin. We now pause for 1 minute in her honor. Thank you for taking a moment of silence as we mark the beginning of our National Day of Mourning to commemorate the life of national hero Honorable Sybil McLaughlin.
46 years.
3 beloved isles. 1 beloved station. Radio Cayman.
The voice.
The heart. The soul of the Cayman Islands.
Today's biggest news.
Radio Cayman.
Your voice, your choice.
Local, regional, international. This is Headlines from Radio Cayman's newsroom.
Today's biggest news.
Today is a National Day of Mourning in the loss of departed national hero, the Honorable Sybil McLaughlin. She received full lying in state honors at the House of Parliament on Thursday. The official funeral service takes place at 1 p.m. today at Elmsley Memorial United Church. Ukraine's military says Russia's army is advancing in the eastern region of the country. It says Russia has intensified its bombardment of the wider Donbas area using heavy firepower to damage defenses around the city of Donetsk. Ukraine's President Volodymyr Zelensky says Russian forces have, quote, completely destroyed Donbas, adding, it is hell there. 13 civilians have died in Russian shelling in the Luhansk region in recent days. Meanwhile, U.S. senators have approved nearly $40 billion in aid for Ukraine, the largest package of support since Russia invaded. U.S. President Joe Biden said Finland and Sweden have his, quote, complete backing in their bids for NATO membership. And United Kingdom Prime Minister Boris Johnson has accused Russia of, quote, a craven blockade of Ukrainian grain exports. Those are your headlines. I'm Carsley Fuller.
For the latest in news and information,
follow Radio Cayman on social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Download the Radio Cayman app or log on to our website, radiocayman.gov.ky.
For the record, with Ort Connor.
Initiating system.
For information that matters. For the record, with Ort Connor. Continues right now on Radio Cayman.
Good morning. Welcome back to For the Record. I want to remind our listening and viewing audience that we have in the studio with us members of the Cayman Islands Beautification Task Force. They are Miss Karen Hides, Mr. Graham Rankin, and Miss Romelia. Welcome. We still have Minister Brian on the line with us as well, and we also have been joined by Miss Omeria Gordon also. Oh, Omeria, she's not with us now. Hopefully she'll call back. So we're going to go back to Minister Brian. Minister Brian, thanks for hanging in there with us.
Thank you so much, OC, and to the listening audience. I want to say my extended sympathies on behalf of the good people of Georgetown Central to the family and loved ones of our national hero, Miss Sybil McLaughlin. But just to add further to the conversation, just to give context to things, you heard my committee speak about a time of amnesty or assistance to collect these cars for free. I want to take us back to the budget period when the Park administration approved their first budget. We approved $500,000 for the beautification committee for situations like this, where we're going to give people a period of time where, listen, we're taking this serious. We are going to be willing to spend some money to help assist getting rid of derelict vehicles. But after that period, we're no longer going to use the government's monies to do so, because you refer to the section of the law that says people pay for the export of their vehicles. But what people may not understand the law talks about is the export from the dump. It does not, that fee does not cover the travel from your location, wherever you have the vehicle, to the dump. It's only talking about the export. So that fee is what government uses to pay, for instance, a private contractor to crush that material and put it on a boat and ship it off to another jurisdiction. So that's what that $250 is about. Now, I agree with you, OC. Maybe the government, through myself as minister, and talk with the Minister of Environmental Health, the Honorable Sabrina Turner, talk about whether we should increase that fee, because if people are not willing to do their obligation to carry the vehicle to the dump, maybe we will have to just take the money up front so we can no longer have that excuse. And obviously, the cost associated with taking a car away increases over time. So that price scale is actually quite archaic at this point. I think that was established probably close to 2 decades ago. So there is a financial element here to be considered that we will review and go back to the cabinet and caucus with. But in the interim, we have to recognize, and the public has to recognize, you are legally, financially obligated to take the vehicle from wherever location you have it at, if you no longer want it, and it's derelict, and it's in a sore eye to the public, to take it to the dump. The government's job is to take it from the dump and dispose of it in the appropriate way. That's why it's called a disposal fee.
Yes.
So just to put context there in respect to that, but I know that Ms. O'Meara might have called back in. I just want to stay on the line if possible to chime in here and there to give some context in the background of the vision to help assist in respect to this. And
sure.
Before I throw it back over to you, I have to highlight something, and I don't want it to come off negative, but it's important. We have to recognize that some people are going to be held accountable for this. I'm not talking about the persons or the public who's doing the bad deed here, but some of the agencies that are not doing their job.
That's right.
And that's why I called it a task force. And the task force is because we are going to be, I'm tasking my committee to write to me with their understanding of the various pieces of legislation and which agency is responsible. For example, the NRA law speaks about safety on the road. You technically cannot leave a car on the side of the road for X period of time because it becomes a dangerous situation. Now, NRA can be an enforcement officer. So my task force can say, NRA, on behalf of the Canada's Beautification Committee, given the powers as from the Ministry of Tourism and through the Cabinet, we are inquiring, why are you not holding these persons accountable when it's on the side of the road? Or we can call the police to say they're violating the traffic law section so and so. So when this buildup of accountability from the various different agencies start to become more and more prominent in the society, then the attention switches from the public to the agencies. And I'm sorry, I know that many agencies may not be happy with me this morning, but they have to do their job. That's why this is becoming a task force, because they are not out there holding people accountable, and therefore they are left to be allowed to do the behaviors that they do. The police are very, very quick to say, I'm going to penalize young people for marijuana, I'm going to grab somebody for buying numbers, or these other crimes. Well, I say, as Minister of Tourism, on behalf of the Beautification Committee, that dirt and filth and littering is just as important as marijuana in this country, and we no longer want to deal with it. So, yes, this is about one government holding the other civil service and departments accountable, but that's the only way we're going to fix this problem. Now, yes, there needs to be provisions where the law has to be strengthened, and that's why I've asked the great, gracious Ms. Teresa Lewis-Pickern to take a subcommittee of the legal angle of it and say, where do you suggest that we strengthen it to make it easier for these agencies? Because some of the excuses have been, well, the law isn't really clear. How do we do it? Now, that's my job on behalf of the Parker government, together with my team, to go, do you want me to strengthen the legislation? I will do so. Well, bring that to us, but do not negate your responsibility, because there's at least 6 to 7 different pieces of legislation that I have identified through this committee, through this task force, that we go, why are they not using these sections of the law to hold people accountable? Because once the accountability starts to be seen, people they will start to change their behavior because they're afraid to go to court. They're afraid to lose potential opportunities to stay in the Cayman Islands. They're afraid that they're going to have to spend a lot of money with legal fees or fines or what have you. So if we don't hold those agencies to do that, we can't fix this problem. We're just going to be mouthpieces. So yes, again, the biggest goal that I want this committee to do, and that's why I like the likes of Mr. O'Melia, who's not afraid to say, I'm sorry, DOE, I am sorry, police department, I'm sorry, NRA, but you are not doing your job, because it's about accountability. Just like how the people hold us accountable as politicians, the law is there, and the agencies out there responsible for carrying out those duties have to do it. So, sorry, just a little bit of context there, and I'll let my team chime on from there.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much. Minister, we do have another caller. Let's go back to the phone lines. Caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Good morning, and I need to address something.
Good morning.
Please don't cut me off till I tell you what I have to say. Listen to me. I am one that is highly against the litter. I've been cleaning from College Gate to Farley Road where I live from 1985 that I move up in here. And about it, plenty of people know me from out there before 6 o'clock in the morning sleeping. But listen, we have a problem with the 109 bus, Clifton Hunter bus children. They are in Manly. They are nasty. And I speak to an MP about them. Plus, they're blocking our road. It's an accident waiting to happen. They got no manners. They come out there in the morning eating their banana. They come with their Nutella pot. I can name them item 5 times. They come with the fruit punch bottle. They come with the Sprite can. And 2 garbages are right by our house there, and they throw out the banana skin. And I say, listen, you need to pick that up. They matches to turn their back and like, who are you talking to? You're not talking to me. And one morning, they did it, and I say, I sweep the leaves. But I'm not saying, on the book of school, and I don't see the big sign, and I can read, and I see the big sign right there. Say no loitering, $500, and then I imposing that. And listen, you know what one I'm asking me? You know who my mother is? And my response to her, it don't matter to me, I don't know, but she can't beat me. I said, but that's the difference with on the kids. And when I was a kid, I said, I'm a 6 to 7-year-old woman. And then the little boy, he not get on the bus. Listen to me and stand up. And I tell Miss Lan, I say, tell that little boy to play me because my son older than him. And I don't want to put my hand on him because they're school children and I will go to jail after him. But they're in Manly, nasty. And I tell him, I don't want to see. We on the leg. He get out in the bus. After the bus come, stop there. You know what done? Show me stick out and walk all around to the window and cost me an old hateful bit.
Wow.
The woman tell him, and she told me, she said, there's scatter. And I tell Mark Whitaker, it's the 109 Clifton Hunter bus. I tell him, I said, when my kids were going to school, I don't know how they come parking out in this Farley Road. I got one guy that his mama used to work, immigration, you know, I'm a Shirley son. They block the road. Get in the middle of the road, put their school bag down the road, take off their socks and things, and when the man blowing, they be there for the longest before they move. And it's an accident waiting to happen. I told him, I said, the bus should not be picking them up on that corner because another thing, it creates a backup. They should stop by the college where sometimes they stop in the morning when they come in too early and pick them up there. When my kids were going to Solana, I had to go by the college or by Roy Eden because it comes around too. So why are they blocking Forest Road?
Okay, we want to thank that caller for that. And one suggestion would be there, I don't know whether or not, I'm sure that there are wardens on the bus as well, but I would imagine that the warden is probably just as challenged as she is in terms of getting across to them as well. But it's obviously something that needs to be taken into hand as well.
Can I elaborate a little bit on what Minister Bryan was saying?
We're going to take a commercial break. This way I don't have to interrupt you. So we'll take you as soon as we return from the commercial break. Folks, please stay tuned. For the record, we'll be back shortly.
Are you feeling sick but don't feel ill enough to go to the doctor? Ask your pharmacist for advice. Here at West Bay Pharmacy, our pharmacists have been trained to offer helpful, easy to understand advice on the treatment of everyday minor ailments for yourself and all the family. Anything from headaches, cough and sore throat, to cold sores, our pharmacists will know when medical help is needed and will not hesitate to refer you to your doctor if your symptoms demand it. Like doctors, our pharmacists have a professional code, which means all personal information you give them will be treated in the strictest confidence. Visit us today at West Bay Pharmacy, where we care about your health.
JN Money, money touchdown. Send the money now. Reach wow. You say you need some money. JN Money, I can send it in a hurry. Get through quick when you come collect your cash, or use a money card and swipe it in a flash. Send funds to any bank, yeah. Pay your bills quick, yeah. Low fees, you know what it, yeah. JN Money, we are pick, yeah. Send and receive funds at any JN Money location. It's fast, affordable, and convenient. Money touchdown with JN Money. Send funds to any bank, yeah. Pay your bills quick, yeah. Low fees, you know what it, yeah. JN Money, we are pick, yeah.
Call 345-945-2014 for details. Available at JN Money locations across the Cayman Islands.
Make your house into a home. Welcome to Brand Source Home Gallery, your source for premium products and a premium experience. We'll design and install your dream kitchen with crafted cabinets, complemented with elegant appliances. We'll fill it with quality houseware and cookware. Custom-designed closet and storage solutions organize and beautify any area. And with the finest bedding, you'll get a perfect night's sleep knowing Brand Source Home Gallery has everything you need to make your house a home.
For the record, with Ort Connor.
Initiating system.
For information that matter. For the record, with Ort Connor. Continues right now on Radio Cayman.
Good morning. Welcome back to For the Record. We have another caller, but we're going to take Lord Graham's point before we go to the caller.
Just before I forgot, Minister made mention of the financial aspect of the derelict vehicles and stuff like that. What I wanted to say, I think we should reverse the way custom charge you for bringing in a car. Maybe I think I have plans of bringing in a $150,000 Ferrari. You know, that have a lifespan of, say, 20, 25 years, right? But yet I have to pay more, a higher percentage on that car. I would pay more because of the value of the car, but I have to pay a higher percentage on that particular because of the price, right? But yet somebody can bring in a car that maybe lasts 2-3 months on the road and don't pay anything to custom. You can bring a domestic car from Japan and land it in the Cayman Islands for $3,500.
But when you say don't pay anything to custom, you mean nothing of significance?
Nothing of significance.
But they do
this car got a lifespan of what, a year, 2 years? And then we're stuck with it to dispose of it, to get it out to Panama, to the metal, the dump yard. When I'm going to bring in a Ferrari that got a lifespan of 25 years, but yet you're going to charge me a higher percentage on bringing a good car in, I don't think that's right. I think we should
penalizing the wrong person.
Yeah, that's what they're doing.
Yeah. Okay.
You know.
Let's grab the caller. Caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning, caller. How are you?
Good morning, Mr. Moderator, and good morning to all your guests this morning.
Good morning.
Very happy Friday. I want to see if I can find a little middle ground, even though I agree 100% with getting derelict vehicles and stuff off the streets and off the roads. What I meant by middle ground is that what I see happening and what happens many occasions is that these derelict vehicles are put in a location by various garages and they are used for spare parts, but eventually they become junk because once they take whatever inner little parts that they need from the car, then that car becomes junk. Now, I have a neighbor that has a car in his yard that is actually junk, but he's using it. I'm sure it's going to be used for spare parts. Now, how do we address a derelict vehicle that is causing a sort of nuisance to a neighbor, but it's on
their private property?
Private property. Now, I'm wondering, the reason I said about the middle ground is that I use that as a sort of a premise to say, is there a possibility, and perhaps this could take some thinking out of the box, but is there a possibility that a common area could be provided that because we have to realize we're living in a real world and cost of living is very high, so you can't buy new parts whenever you need something for your vehicle. But is there a possibility that a common area could be created where cars could be put for on a temporary basis, I guess, to be used for spare parts, but eventually when they're moved from one location, and then that's where they're put on this barge to go to Panama, as Lord Graham was saying a while ago. But
so if they put there if a temporary location, who controls it? I put my vehicle there. Graham puts his vehicle there. Miss KK puts hers there. We go there at any point in time to take a part off or a vehicle, but we take it off for someone else's vehicle. Who will control all of that?
Once it would have to be some sort of a formal agreement that once that graveyard, as it were, or that sort of temporary location is a common area where there's no ownership. Then whoever needs a spare part,
I see.
Will go there and take it off the car. Once that car is of no more use, or once that shell is of no more use, then it's just discarded by the government. In essence, that common area is provided by government, and those vehicles are in essence owned by a government department, but is used for spare parts until that vehicle is then discarded fully.
I mean, we have something similar to that now. We have places, I think most of them are located in the Dorset Drive area, where you actually have businesses that deal in used spare parts.
Okay, but my question that I want a panel to think about and I discuss perhaps is, how are they going to deal with vehicles that is causing a nuisance to a neighbor?
I think Ms. KK addressed that before, but I'll ask her to speak to it again if you will listen in.
I just tuned in, but
yeah.
Good morning to you all. God bless, and have a happy Friday. And perhaps my good friend KK could go over again how we could deal with that.
Thank you very much, Ms. KK.
Yes, we've been working very closely with Mr. Sims on situations like this because they do have the authority to go on people's properties. We don't. So we have to go according to the law, and he is well versed with the law. So in situations like that, we would have to do it on a one-by-one basis, you know what I mean? Because if the vehicle is completely shelled and there's nothing in it, because trust me, there's a lot of them that has nothing in them.
Yeah. And becomes eyesore
and
to
become
the
eyesores and harbor all kind of wanted visitors.
Yes.
But those that are there that they're just picking apart, I think there is a part of the law that addresses that as well. So we could refer that to Mrs. Sims. If there's a certain situation, please bring it to our attention, because we have to work on it on a one-on-one basis, you know, to see what's going on and what we can do within the law.
Okay.
Planning also has the authority to issue a maintenance of property that would get rid of that sort of stuff as well.
Right.
So we can call planning and say, hey, this eyesores in our community, can you come and see about it and let the owner know what needs to be done.
Absolutely.
Okay. Minister Bryan has just joined us in the studio as well. I want to welcome him. We have 3 callers on hold. We're going to try to accommodate those 3 calls in 7 minutes. That means that everyone has to be as brief as possible. First caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record. Good morning, caller.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I wanted to talk about the cars and stuff, because car pricing, and it kind of really sits with me. But one thing you could look at when bringing in cars is when the gentleman was talking about a lack of parts for the Japanese domestic vehicles. Right? If people can't prove that they can bring in the part for that vehicle, then they shouldn't be able to bring in the vehicle at all, right? It should be people like dealers and stuff that will be allowed to bring in the vehicles. If me, as a normal consumer, can't prove to the government that I'll be able to bring in whatever parts I would need for that vehicle. And then...
Caller, question for you. So would then some consideration should be given to the year of the vehicle that we're going to allow in, because there are some older cars where it's more difficult. So if we were to put a limit on the age of the car that can be brought in, would that help to solve the part problem?
In a sense, it would for the vast majority of persons on the island. But for people like me who love cars, there might be like a 1970
vintage,
Nissan,
yes,
a 1978 Nissan or something that I could bring in, that I could source parts for personally, right? But for the vast majority of persons on the island, yet again, they bring in cars that from like 2010 onwards, like they're not really many older vehicles that are coming in the early 2000s and the more early 90s, right? And then like, if the people could prove that they can bring in the parts or they could source the parts themselves, then there should be no problem with it. The problem we have down here is we usually get parts from the U.S. market. So you would need a vehicle like a Toyota Altezza is the same as a Lexus IS300. So the majority of the other parts, except for the motor parts, will be able to come out of the U.S.
Got you. Thank you very much for that, caller. Let's grab the next caller. Caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record. Good morning, caller.
Yes, good morning, Lucy.
Good morning.
How are you?
I'm good.
Yeah, good morning to your panel.
Good morning.
Yes, Lucy, the beautification task force, does that apply to the BRAC?
Yes, we do have membership in the BRAC. That means that you didn't tune in at 7:30.
No,
We're kidding.
I was listening. I missed that part. But I just want to say, the environmental department up here, now it's 3 vehicles that one have been into a fatal accident, or 2 into 2 fatalities. And according to the DEH representative that I spoke to, they're still investigating that case. Now, is it not the government do have other properties up here that they could put those vehicles on and get them out of the site? Man, we operate our business, and there's a restaurant next door to us, there's Paws and Claws next door to us, and it's also another store. Now, when people come to those stores, they have to look at those vehicles, especially the one that just recently happened. That happened, but it happened, and we can't do anything about it happening now. But the vehicles don't have to be there, and the environmental, instead of them trying to find ways to shut down people that producing a very valuable item into this island, they are concentrating on more shutting us down and finding fault with what we're doing over there than to clean up their own mess. And this is on Crown property.
Okay. So basically what you're saying, the same standards that we're going to set for the private sector have to be adhered to by government as well.
All right, thank you, Lucy.
Okay, thank you very much, for that. I was trying to elicit a response from him, but I think we can grab... How many more calls we have, Ms. Susan? 2 more calls. I think we only can accommodate one before we go to a break, and then we'll accommodate another one after. I just want to remind people, though, that the committee here today isn't really here to solve your individual problems. This task force has been established to make recommendations to government. So we want to focus more on the overall issue as opposed to individual issues as well. Caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Good morning, Orsi.
Good morning.
And good morning to your father.
Good morning.
I have a question to the father.
Sure.
Do this task force involving the landscaping company not blowing the stuff across the road? Is it? Are you leaving them out of it?
No, they're not being left out of it. Good morning, sir. This is Minister Brian. Obviously, our job under the task force committee is to examine all areas of litter and beautification. it is a reoccurring problem. There's not any legislation that we have that really governs that, and I will be asking the chairperson to examine how these areas of landscapers are governed in other jurisdictions like the UK. I don't know if many of you listeners have experienced jurisdictions like the UK, but there's very specific procedures that has to be done when cleaning properties. We have no legislation for it. So that's the whole purpose of this committee, is to re-examine how we handle every single thing in respect to litter and beautification, and see where we're failing, make recommendations for improvements, and where there is legislation or regulation, make sure those who are responsible for the enforcement of it do their job. So that is a problem, and my team is well aware of it, and we'll be examining it, and hopefully within the few months, as we continue to review and come up with strategies, we'll have an answer for that in the future. Okay, sir?
Yes, but I do think that if out later and you can pull my work permit, send me back home, these companies have work permits. So you pull the work permit and you ban them from getting another work permit for 3, 4, or 5 years, and that will take care of the problem. You buy your vehicle with pain to drive on the road, and the blowing this stuff and rocks and things are chipping our vehicle up. And I call police a lot of times, and they don't respond, they can't do nothing, they pass and they don't do the job. Okay. And it's time now,
Thank you.
So please involve that.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you very much, caller.
See, I would like to take this opportunity because I know we're going to run out of time, but again, you rightfully said we're not here today to resolve each individual issue that we're hearing, but more so to give the public understanding of what direction we're going into and some of our plan of action. We're very embryonic in our development, very green. There's a lot for us to learn. There's a lot for us to know. Our team are doing their own research in respect to the law, understanding how it works, where the enforcements are, and to also inform the public of it, right? So we can all become policers of this serious issue. But at the same time doing the research. So it's going to take time. This isn't going to happen overnight, right? But I thought it was important to highlight some sections of the law, and I hate to say this, but I'm a politician, I get heat all the time. But I don't think sometimes the police even know the law.
True. In
respect to some of these things. I'm going to give you an example. I just looked up under the Town and Country Law, just one simple example of how to resolve a matter. Under the Town and Country Law, 1995 revision, section 3, which talks about what not to be done in thoroughfares of the highways, right? And under section 3, 2, it says, any person who throws down, drops, or otherwise deposits into, or from any road or place to which the public are entitled or permitted to have access, or leaves anything whatsoever, including but without limiting the generality of the foregoing, any paper, bottle, tin can, packaging material, offal, refuse, wrecked car, or any other vehicle or litter in such circumstances as to cause, contribute to, or tend to lead to defacement or litter of any such place or road, then unless that depositing and leaving was authorized by law or was done with the consent by the owner, occupier, or other persons or authority having control of that place, in or into which that thing was thrown down, dropped, or otherwise deposited, is guilty of an offense and is liable to summary conviction to a fine of $500. When was the last time you heard a case came to court? How many officers, general constables, know this section of the law? This is the problem. I am not afraid to hold people accountable. I'm held accountable every single day. That's what the people put me there to put myself on a pedestal, to say, take the licks. You want his job? Take the licks that come with it. And therefore, those agencies who have the power, I've been reminded every single day about my constitutional limitations of where I can't do what. And we've heard the recent situations with my colleague, and as in stepping over boundaries. Well, if I'm going to be held accountable, so as the civil servants and those who are responsible for it. This is a law that has not been looked at. And this is only just one section of the law. I was just reading some other areas that talked about the cleanliness of a person's home. We talk about people having their vehicles in their home, I have 2 extra cars that I decided. My wife actually said, you better get rid of them vehicles, so I'm just going to give them away to somebody, right? But I'm obligated to keep them in a certain standard that it does not affect my neighbor. So if you have a car and it's harboring rats, you are breaking the law. You can cause diseases. Yes. You're devaluing your neighbor's property.
That's right.
These are laws that have to be enforced in order for us to keep our standard, the Caymanian standard. I want to also quickly say this in respect to what the caller said about non-Caymanians potentially being refused work permits or denied work permits. If you break the law, I don't care which law it is, I would ask my committee to recommend to me as minister to bring to my colleagues that so I can talk to the other minister in charge of that, which is CBC, the Honorable Deputy Premier, to say, make recommendations that a new regulation, new policy is that if you're in breach of anything to do with our beautification of our country, automatically your work permit is denied. Now, I'm not saying it's only foreigners that do this. We have to find other ways to hold Caymanians accountable. But if we have a leverage for non-Caymanians, then we're going to use that. So I just want to put things in context.
Okay. Folks, we're going to go to a commercial break. I do believe we still have a caller on hold, Ms. Susan. We will take that call as soon as we return. Please stay tuned for the record. We'll be back shortly.
At Doctors Hospital, we know life happens, and usually when you least expect it. So when unexpected medical issues arise, you need quality care close to home. Located in the heart of Georgetown, our accomplished team of physicians and medical staff treat minor urgent conditions such as migraines, chest and abdominal pain, shortness of breath, burns, broken bones, open wounds, and more. 24 hours, 7 days a week with no appointment necessary. Peace of mind is important when life happens. At Doctors Hospital, we're always here just for you. Need to speak to someone? Call 949-6066.
What's that? No sugar, same amazing taste? Coca-Cola Zero Sugar is here to stay. Classic taste, pure satisfaction. Be sure to stop into any Tortuga location and get your own case of Coke Zero. Or grab an ice-cold one straight from the cooler. Brought to you by Tortuga Distributors Limited. Coca-Cola, taste the feeling, Cayman.
Tune in every Monday through Friday at 12 p.m. for Radio Cayman's Midday Newscast. Radio Cayman, the People's Station, your trusted official source for the latest news. The 12 p.m. news is proudly brought to you by Health City Cayman Islands. World-class healthcare within your reach.
Join us in celebration of Her Majesty the Queen's Platinum Jubilee. The Cayman Islands is excited to be hosting a variety of free, family-friendly activities throughout the community you won't want to miss, such as the Queen's Jubilee Family Afternoon Tea Party at the National Gallery on May 21st at 1 p.m. So many activities and something for everyone. For more information on the upcoming Queen's Platinum Jubilee events, visit www.gov.ky/Jubilee.
For the record, with Ort Connor.
Initiating system.
For information that matters. For the record, with Ort Connor. Continues right now on Radio Cayman.
Good morning. Welcome back to For the Record. In the studio with us, we have the Honorable Kenneth Bryan, Minister responsible for Tourism and Transport. Ms. Romelia, welcome. Ms. Karen Hides and Mr. Graham Rankin, they are members of the beautification task force that has been appointed and impaneled by the minister as well. We do have a caller that we promised we would take. Caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Good morning.
Good morning.
And good morning to your guest and to the minister who's on the phone, who I am going to give a little jab, who found it very nice to ignore my calls and my messages over the past year. But anyway, I am just calling with a few suggestions. I've been listening, and I want to say that I do like Graham's approach to the whole matter, that this has to be taken seriously, and until we see some results, we shouldn't be jumping up and down and clapping hands. I don't know what the task force has thought about regarding private property, because I believe that we have more garbage on private property than we do have on the public roads. So perhaps when they're looking at the laws to see which ones they can change to make a difference in this area, that would be the first one I would start on. I can speak about the neighborhood that I live in, and there's a vast piece of property down in here which has a lot of debris on it, all sorts of debris. It's directly in the front of my house, which is coming from the east, and my fear every hurricane season is that if we do get a storm, I'm going to suffer with that the same way I did during Ivan. And I have spoken to people, I say people as in officials, about this matter. I've spoken to the police and nothing has been done. Basically, I've been laughed at. The other thing, since we're talking about beautification of our island, I again agree with Graham that we can't put Band-Aid on brain surgery. That's no cure. And we need to look further into this, not just on land, but coming from the sea as well. We have to protect it from the outward direction, coming inward, because when we take down the mangroves and the other natural things that God put here, then the sea gives up what's there. That comes ashore, and then no one cleans that up either. I want to just expand on that a little bit, because I'm really troubled about this whole removal of our mangroves and so on. And if we don't protect that, then there'll be no cause to try to protect what is on land, because we'll start looking like Venice or Amsterdam under the water. And then the entrances and exits from the airport, I've always looked at them, which is the first point the tourists come in. And to me, that's one of the most, or those outlets and inlets, they're the most untidy sections of Georgetown. And it's a shame, because that's the first point that the tourists will see when they get here. Mm-hmm. And when they're leaving, it's what they see. And that's the first memory and the last memory that they will have.
Yeah.
So since you're open to suggestions, there would be some of mine. I could go on, but I will leave it there.
Thank you.
And hopefully Lord Graham will use his mighty muscles and flex them. And I do agree with him that we have to really implement some harsh penalties here.
Thank you very much, caller, for that. Susan, how many more callers we have? We have 3 callers. We're going to take the early break. We're going to close off at those 3 callers. We're going to ask each caller when we return to abbreviate their comments, because we have to give our panel an opportunity for some closing comments. And one of the things that we want to be able to repeat is what the remit of this beautification task force is all about. Because what we don't want at the end of the day, people start pointing fingers at you all and say, this isn't being done because of you. So they need to understand precisely what your remit is as well. Folks, please stay tuned for the record. We'll be back shortly.
At Doctor's Hospital, we know life happens, and usually when you least expect it. So when unexpected medical issues arise, you need quality care close to home. Located in the heart of Georgetown, our accomplished team of physicians and medical staff treat minor urgent conditions such as migraines, chest and abdominal pain, shortness of breath, burns, broken bones, open wounds, and more. 24 hours, 7 days a week with no appointment necessary. Peace of mind is important when life happens. At Doctor's Hospital, we're always here just for you. Need to speak to someone? Call 949-6066.
We think it's time you crossed over to a new vehicle. And with the Toyota Corolla Cross now at Vant Motors, you have plenty of reasons to make the switch. The crossover body and hybrid engine is a sleek design in a sturdy structure with a spacious interior that opens to extensive cargo space. Stuck in traffic? The high-performance self-charging hybrid system automatically switches between gas and electric vehicle mode, helping you lower both fuel costs and carbon emissions. The Corolla Cross has full LED lighting inside and out, an integrated display audio system with energy monitor, and a dual-zone climate control system to ensure comfort for all. Test drive the new Toyota Corolla Cross Hybrid today at Vant Motors, Walkers Road.
Make your house into a home. Welcome to Brand Source Home Gallery, your source for premium products and a premium experience. We'll design and install your dream kitchen with crafted cabinets, complemented with elegant appliances. We'll fill it with quality houseware and cookware. Custom designed closet and storage solutions organize and beautify any area. And with the finest bedding, you'll get a perfect night's sleep knowing Brand Source Home Gallery has everything you need to make your house a home.
Hello, K-Man. Join us on Saturday, May 21st for the Progressives Family Fun Day. It will be a day full of fun for all the family. Lots of food, music, prizes, and surprises. The fun begins at 11 a.m. on the beach a half-mile east of the Frank Sound Junction. See our Facebook pages for transportation details.
For the record, with Ort Connor.
Initiating system.
For information that matter. For the record, with Ort Connor. Continues right now on Radio Cayman.
Good morning. Welcome back to For the Record. Even I am going to abbreviate my comments as well and go straight to the phone lines. 3 callers. Those are going to be our last callers. First caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record. Good morning, caller. Welcome to For the Record.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning to you in the panel.
Morning.
Good morning.
Thank you. Is Mr. Brian there as well?
Yes, sir.
Nice to hear your voice, man. I'm sure that you're on the right track. I just want to say congratulations, and what you might want to take into consideration, we have border control force, you have drug traffic force, and so have you. You need to put somebody in uniform that takes care of all of this environmental, whether they outside doing something, throwing garbage all over the place. Because I was in a meeting Monday night, and my feedback I got from someone was, well, the public needs to come forward. You can tell me all of my days, there's not been an officer, a police officer that has seen somebody right-handedly throwing garbage out of the car or something. Why you always use the limbo fraction of coming back to the public? We need a serious task force in unmarked vehicles that takes care of that, gentlemen. That's how I see it. So thank you so much.
Thank you so much, and I agree with you wholeheartedly. Again, I would like today some of the attention in the public to be focused on these agencies. One of the actions I'm going to ask my committee to do is start to educate the public about the law and where the responsibility lies. I am so sorry. I don't like to create any more hassle for myself. But every section of the law and the regulation has an agency that is responsible. And unless those agencies start to take their responsibilities seriously, like how they take everything else seriously, we're not going to get a handle on this problem. Is there failings in the legislation? Do we need some more? Do we need to reform it? Yes, we do. But until we do that, use the current laws that we do have and do your job.
Excellent.
That's right.
Thank you very much for that. Minister, 2 more callers. Next caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Good morning, Elsie.
Good morning.
And good morning to your panel.
Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning.
Kenneth, good morning to you, sir.
Good morning, sir.
Finally, we got somebody that has enough beat to get up to the plate and say enough is enough. And I respect you so much for taking this stand, because this is what we needed for so long, because there's too much slackness going on in this country. You know exactly how I feel about what is happening in this country. I just want to let you know that you have my support 1,000%. And if you need a couple of vigilantes, that can be arranged. Only people can do that.
Thank you so much, sir. We appreciate that. On behalf of my committee, I don't want to take too much credit in respect to this. This is a vision of a group of people who are also like you, fed up with it. And I just want to use the role that the good people of Georgetown Central and the Greater Cayman Islands gave me to do what they wanted us to do, which is to get a handle on this and change it. And that's what this is about. So we are in the early stages. I just want to remind you of that. It's going to take everybody, private sector,
all hands
businesses, all the nonprofits, to say what is going wrong, what legislation we have. And that's one of the documents I want to release eventually, and the chairperson and the team is working on that. What all the areas of power that we have to hold this problem accountable, right, and grasp it and get rid of it. Who has to do their job? And I'm not going to be afraid to highlight that. One thing I'm very cautious about in public, I'm saying this strategically, is I do not have the authority under the Constitution to direct any civil service member to do any particular thing, because nobody's going to call me out. But what I do have is to hold entities accountable for holding, implementing the law. Now, if they don't do that, then you're going to have a politician who's going to say, you're not doing this, you're not doing that. And you know who the public is going to hold accountable? Not the agencies, not the departments, not the civil servants. They're going to say the PAC government, and we're not standing for that.
Okay, right. Let's grab the last caller. Caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Good morning again, OC.
Good morning again, Billy.
Mr. Brian and the team. I know it's short, so I'll keep it, if I can, in 1 minute. 2 points specifically. It is good that Minister and his team are talking about enforcement, because enforcement is one of the biggest problems in the Cayman Islands. We seem to think that the enforcement is only good when you are sending a Caymanian to jail, but not in anything else. When you look at, for example, what has happened in West Bay with Mike Adam and all that business there, the problem there was enforcement.
That's right.
So that the issue is... Pardon?
Go ahead, sir. Yes, that was right.
Yes, the problem there was enforcement. That issue could have been resolved actually years ago, and the problem has been enforcement. So it is very, very important that this is looked at, not just in the area you are dealing with now, but generally with regard to everything. Very quickly, when I was in the British Virgin Islands about 20 years ago, I designed and facilitated a workshop on enforcement powers, where the police, the immigration people, customs, the environment, and everything were brought in so that they can learn what powers they have and they don't have. And related to that, finally, is the training. There is not sufficient training in Cayman regarding issues like that. In fact, it seems that the previous governments have had a policy of keeping people ignorant. I think the PAC government must try to do something about that. Thanks very much.
Thank you.
Leave it there.
Thank you very much, caller, for that. Okay, what we want to do is we want to give each member an opportunity for some final comments, and we will let the minister have the last word. Start with you, Ms. KK.
Okay, we know that people are kind of discouraged and disenchanted as initiatives such as this have fallen by the way and gone under. But we're asking the public to give us a chance this time to create the change that is really needed on our island. Having said that, we also need the public to be responsible in keeping their homes, their yards, their businesses, their neighborhoods clean, and changing the culture of how we see and live with trash, because trash, that's just a part of it. We also implore the public to work with us to identify areas and issues that need tackling when it comes to litter, illegal dumping, derelict homes, and the like. We hope that our volunteer drive will draw persons who have the time and the passion and wherewithal to help us in this plight, because it is a great task. It is a great task. As small as our islands is, it is a great task. And it takes us to be united to be successful in tackling such a large problem. I also spoke with Mr. Sims this morning, and if you want to call their customer service to report something, it's 949-6696 or DEH customer service at gov.ky, and they can also assist.
Thank you very much, Ms. KK. Lord Graham?
Yeah, okay. Oh, so you had a dialogue with one of the callers that called in concerning parts about cars coming in, and you mentioned about the model years the car should be. We look at places like Honduras, who we think is third world country. They have it where I think it's 7 years. You cannot bring a car into the country older than 7 years. And the car have to be associated or be able to be imported into the United States. That's the regulation. So if it's older than 7, it cannot come. And it have to be driven on the left hand. So it have to be manufactured to the United States. Okay? And we got to realize that a lot of the people that come here what we see happening is a norm. It's a norm where they come from. And I've noticed that a lot of the people who are in the position to carry out, that have the authority to enforce the laws, come from those same country where it's a norm. So they just overlook it. It's a norm where they come from. So they don't think that it's a great offense or it's a infraction to really penalize somebody for
right.
something that they think it's a norm where they come from. And I also want to say that I want to say to my good friend Stanley Hill, who's in Quebec, Canada, listening to us and watching us. He sent in some points to me and Miss Esme, Dennis Connor. And I would also like to say to Brenda that she should try and get with Miss Heather, and because she lives in that area. And I also want to give kudos to Miss Heather, who I think do a really good job, not just now that the task force has been created, but she have been all year round in the Savannah area, making sure that Savannah have been kept clean. I remember her, they doing a drive and they couldn't find no garbage to pick up. So I really got to say kudos to Miss Heather for doing that. And and Mr. Brian, I want to thank you for putting me on the committee, but I will not be jumping up clapping until we start doing some stuff and putting people in jail and locking people out.
That's exactly why I put you in the committee.
Yeah.
Mr. Romelio? Mr. Romelio?
I too wanted to have to do a little backtrack where Minister Bryan says that we will be holding these agencies accountable. What I have found in my walk all of these years is that we have a lot of a lot of family members through their family to these members of these agents that they're covering a lot of this, and this is where a lot of the work is getting away from the island, because they're not persecuting people for wrongdoings. So now that this task force has formed, the buck is stopped from passing the buck from agency to agency. It stops here. Each agency will be held accountable, and I will be sending into Minister Bryan my thoughts and my findings when an agency is needs to be held accountable. That I'll take you up on that one, sir. Okay. In my closing statement, the Beautification Task Force will take action to restore and encourage a sense of pride in our island that reflects the uniqueness of our culture and heritage. The Beautification Task Force will inspire and challenge us to become a litter abatement conscious community. Promoting, cooperating, and individual responsibilities. The Beautification Task Force will work in conjunction with existing government agencies, private individuals, and organizations and achieve these ends in the Cayman Islands.
Okay, thank you very much for that. Minister Bryan, you got the last word.
Thank you so much, O.C., and I want to thank the listening audience for hearing us out this morning, and hopefully what you're hearing is something that you're happy with. I want to thank my committee members for all the hard work. So far, just so the public knows, they don't get paid for this. I'm going to try my best to I'm going to try my best to address that problem, because they put hours and hours and hours in trying to tackle this very serious problem. And I think that if there's one thing I want to get that I can check off on my box and said, I contributed to changing the culture in my country within this period of time when I'm a minister. So I'm really hopeful that we can do that. Folks, there has to be a strategy of getting this done. We have to understand what powers we have, what powers we don't have, what legislation is there, what legislation isn't there, what needs to be changed, what we can change within the period of time that we can, what the costs associated with keeping the country clean, and why there's a level of obligation on you. We cannot expect the government to pay for cleaning things up unless you want the taxes to be increased. Now, nobody want to hear about that, but everybody wants us to clean it all up. That's not going to work. I'm just telling you from my perspective as the Minister for Tourism, and why it's even a stronger focus, not only because I'm the Minister of Tourism, but as a Caymanian period, my mom taught me to keep our culture alive, which is keep your place clean. But when it comes to tourism, if I do not sell a product that is clean, that is safe, with great infrastructure, with good people, then we're going to start to lose our prominence in respect to the region from a tourism perspective. The reason why we're successful is we're safe, and that's relative these days, and we have to keep a close eye on that, and we will do so as a part of working with the governor and the police. The infrastructure is good. We constantly have good roads and buildings that are not old, they're modern. We have great people. And this cleanliness is a part of who you are as a good person in Caymankind. Our quality service is top notch. All of these combinations of things makes us a high priority location for people that want to come to, makes us different than Jamaica, Barbados, Trinidad, and all those places. They never can combine all of those factors together. So this is a key area to tourism for me, but also as a Caymanian. We will continue to look at the different areas. We have a strategy. We have to come back. Today was just a drop in the water. And we'll come with more of a clear vision and plan as to, we're going to be releasing a document in the future of what we expect to do. But I want to leave with this. And those who want to be upset with me, so be it, I'll accept it. All agencies that find themselves with the responsibility under the different sections of the law, NRA, DOE, the litter law, the traffic law, the town and country law, if it's within your remit to take control of those things, get familiar with the law. Because I am a member of cabinet, I will report to the governor and say, your civil servants, our civil servants, are not doing their job. Because if the government and the public's perception, rightfully so, is, I elected you to solve this problem. I don't have the authority under law to go down there and tell people what to do, but I will say on behalf of the good people of this country, Governor, Deputy Governor,
tell them what they're not doing.
This is what you're not doing, and it has to be done. Right. So all of these agencies, do not be surprised when this committee writes to me officially on behalf of the committee. I bring it to caucus, and then I bring it to cabinet. So the fire is going to start burning. Prepare yourself. Know your legislation. Know what the laws are. Know what you can and cannot do, and hold the public accountable. For the public, it's time for you to take accountability for your country. This is your community. Those who are not from here and you want to bring your unfortunate habits here, we're no longer going to accept it. I will, on behalf of the people of this country, hold you accountable. If you come here and you visit here and you live here and you don't want to respect our laws, don't want to respect our culture and our ways, I will ask for you to be removed. I'll leave it there. May God bless the Cayman Islands. And again, my heart and sympathy and condolences go out to the Honorable Sybil McLaughlin's family as they go through this difficulty today. She will be laid to rest at 1 o'clock this afternoon.
Certainly. Thank you very much for that, Minister. One of our listeners wrote in and said, excellent constructive program. They say that Jack Dixon said, if you focus on results, you will never change. If you focus on change, you will get results as well. Right. I just also want to say that several of you sent in WhatsApp other messages that I unfortunately was unable to share. One had to do with the fact that we, at one time, we were able to burn our garbage or burn vegetative matter and stuff like that, and we no longer can do that, and there are reasons for that. And that is one area where I'm sure that the committee will be liaising with other departments, government entities as well, to ensure when it comes to climate change and everything else, that the policies that are recommended tie in with those issues of climate change. Another writer commented about the use of weed whackers and things of that nature. That's another area when it comes to the fumes that we put into the atmosphere and stuff like that, whether or not we need to look at these tools that use fossil fuels, whether or not we want to consider banning those and using more eco-friendly items as well. So there's so much. Another area that some persons wanted you to look at, yes, we have these gated communities, and there are people who have lots of money invested in their in their properties. But what about those communities that were those developments that were started years ago, and where developers simply sold all of the properties and left? So you have public open space that is no longer maintained. You have lots in there that have not been developed, but they're grown up and stuff like that, whether or not those will be addressed. So many things that tie in with each other as well. But folks, I want to thank you all. I can't go through my normal speech this morning because we're 5 minutes over, but I want to thank all of you who have contributed this morning, and you can look to hear more about this on For the Record, because we certainly intend to have members of the Beautification Task Force come back to the studio as well. Take care, stay safe, God bless.
For the Record is brought to you by Vamped Motors, the only authorized Ford and Toyota dealership serving the Cayman Islands. Coca-Cola, available across the Cayman Islands from Tortuga distributors. Accept no substitutes. Taste the feeling with Coca-Cola. Brand Source Home Gallery, inspiring luxury. West Bay Pharmacy, taking care of your health. And JN Money. From abroad to yard. Fast, affordable, convenient. Doctors Hospital. Peace of mind is important when life happens. Doctors Hospital. Always there for you. Call 949-6066. And giversplanet.com. Cayman's online platform for fundraising and charitable donations.
From district to district, moving through the waters to Cayman Brac and Little Cayman. Your station, your voice. All things Cayman. One radio.